Hello, welcome to Yoga Darshini. Today we are going to learn how to do a back bend properly. Back bends are one of the most common movements that cause a lot of injuries in yoga practitioners, and that's because most of the time people don't engage the muscles properly when they are doing the back bends. So today let's learn how to do a back bend in a safe and an effective manner. Alright? Okay. As always, whenever we are doing any movement, let us first understand the purpose of the movement. What do back bends do? Back bends aim at lengthening the front side of the body, and they aim to strengthen the back side of the body. So we have to effectively use our glutes, our back muscles, and to a large extent our shoulders too when we are doing a back bend. We have to learn to engage these muscles properly. Alright, so let us understand what is the most important thing that we should keep in mind when we are doing a back bend, and that is we should not dump all our weight on our lower back. Lower back is the most flexible part of our spine. Okay, this part of our spine is where we have maximum mobility. Middle part of our spine, not so much. Upper back a little bit, and the next is the neck. Okay, so neck is of course the most mobile, and similarly the lower back also is a very mobile part of our spine. So what we will do unwittingly is we may tend to load a lot of our weight onto our lower back when we are doing a back bend. So what should we do instead is we should try to support our lower back by activating all the muscles that surround it, so which includes our core, our back, and also our glutes. Okay, so you have to activate those muscles first when you're doing a back bend. How do we do that? So, whenever you're doing a back bend, the principle is pretty similar to a forward fold that we have already seen in one of our previous videos. The wider the legs, the easier it is to do. The closer the legs, the lesser the range of movement available. So it is more intense when you're keeping your legs closer, it is less intense when you're keeping your legs wide. Okay, so let us start with a neutral leg position, which is at hip distance apart with your toes pointing forward, and first place your hands on your hips. Alright, become aware of your spine, of your body. Most of the time we will not even stand with a proper pelvic positioning. So what may happen is sometimes people may stand like this with an exaggerated pelvic tilt. Okay, so make sure your pelvis is neutral. Yeah, so don't shoot your butt out basically. Yeah, tuck your tailbone under. So the moment you do this, you will feel that your core muscle is getting activated. Okay, so and now from here, first squeeze your butt, engage your glute muscles, and then pull your belly in and up. So the entire area is activated, and you will feel that your lower back is supported when you're doing these two movements. Okay, then we want to think about pushing our hips forward. Don't think about bending back, rather think about pushing your hips forward first. And when you're doing this, make sure that your core is engaged and your glutes are engaged. If I'm not engaging any of my muscles and I'm thinking of pushing my hip forward, it's going to look like this. I may have a wider range of movement, but at the same time there is a lot of compression on the lower back. There is a lot of load on the lower back, alright? So keeping all of this in mind, which is engaging your core, squeezing your butt muscles, and also kind of tucking your tailbone under without having a pelvic tilt. Okay, keeping a neutral pelvis. The first thing that we want to visualize is pushing our hips forward towards the wall in front of you. Here, if you were to do this movement without engaging all the relevant muscles, you may be able to go forward a lot more. Okay, but at the same time, you'll feel a lot of compression in your lower back. Okay, so try to avoid that. Engage all your muscles, alright? So I'm pulling my belly in, squeezing my butt, and I'm feeling strong through my legs. And then I'm gently pushing my hips forward here. And once I do that, then I'm thinking about lifting my chest upward. Remember, back bend is all about lengthening the front side of the body. So you're lifting your chest up and you're imagining as if your chest is parallel to the ceiling, right? And then from here, the last part is your neck. Maybe if your body allows you to drop your head back, look up at the ceiling. And while coming out, come out step by step, neutralize your head and then neutralize your spine. All right, same principle applies in whatever form of back bend you're doing. For example, if I'm doing camel, all right, which is a kneeling back bend, the same principles apply. So I keep my knees hip distance apart, and then I keep my toes tucked, and I'm holding the back of my hands. Now from here I want to arch my back, right? So I pull my belly in, squeeze my butt, I push my hips forward, I lift my chest upward, and then I slowly drop my and I come out the same way, neutralize the neck, and then neutralize the spine. It works even in a lunge. For example, when we are doing an Anjaneyasana with your leg placed forward, here also you have to pull the belly in and up, squeeze your butt, and then push the hip forward, lift the chest upward. Now, let me take this opportunity to explore the role of shoulders when we are doing a back bend. The way you position your hands completely changes the feel of your back bend. Okay, this I want you to explore at your home. Now, place your palms facing each other, right? Keep your elbows straight, and then even before you push your hip forward and chest upward, first take your hands alone back. Observe how it feels. Observe how far you can go. And now let's do it in the reverse order. Let us first lift your head up, look up at the ceiling, and then let's bring the chest parallel to the ceiling, and then let's push our hip forward and down, coming into a back bend, and slowly come out. What happens when you place your palms facing forward? Explore that. Now you're going to keep your palms facing forward, lift your hands up, elbows are straight, again hands go back. This is an independent movement. So most of the time what happens is, however you're placing your palm, this is an independent movement of the shoulder. Many people only think about the spine, but they forget to move their arms in the back bend, okay? Try to use your arms also, because that's going to give a deeper stretch to your thoracic region, to your chest region. Alright, now that we know, we are going to remember it, right? So let's start by keeping our palms facing forward. Take your hands back, lift your chin up, look up, and then chest upward, then hip forward. Of course, my core is engaged, my glutes are engaged, and I'm breathing. Shallow breaths are okay, but please breathe. And then come back to a neutral spine. Now, we don't just stop with a standing or a kneeling back bend, we also do a lot of lying down back bend, isn't it? Let's see how that works now, okay? So this includes all your asanas like your Bhujangasana, your Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and also Shalabhasana to a large extent, and of course your Dhanurasana. All these asanas come in the prone back bend. Shall we see how that works? Let's start with a cobra. So once you're down on your belly, so in your prone back bends, make sure you're not keeping your feet too wide apart. You're trying to keep your feet either close to each other or only hip distance apart. Alright, what happens when you take it too wide apart is, you will be able to dump more weight on your lower back, and we don't want that. Alright, so leg positioning is very important. And what also happens is, most of the time people forget about how important a role the legs play when you're doing a prone back bend. Your legs have to be active and strong when you're doing this, alright, which means keep your toes flat, and you're going to engage your thigh muscles. You're not going to keep them loose and inactive. You're going to engage your thigh muscles. Again, you're going to squeeze your butt, squeeze your glute muscles, and you're going to push your pelvis deep into the mat. Right? And now, since we are focusing on the spine, let me take the hands off the mat, and I'm going to keep my shoulders away from the ears. Alright? So now, slowly I'm going to lift my head up, chest up. Because my glutes are engaged and my pelvis is pressing deep into the mat, I can feel my back muscles working here quite a bit. If you were to place your hands by the side of the chest and you press the palms nicely and squeeze your elbows close to the body, you're also going to activate your chest muscles. Now, many people, what they do is, they do this when they want to do Bhujangasana. Remember, what is the purpose of our back bends? Lengthening the front side of the body, strengthening the back side of the body. When you're doing this, you're doing neither. Alright, so please don't do this. Shoulders are down, compressing your back muscles. Elbow close to the body. And you're squeezing your butt, pushing the pelvis into the mat and keeping your chin parallel to the floor. Press into your fingertips and then Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, just lifting your knees off the floor and holding. Right? So that's how you do a prone back bend. Of course, even when you're doing your Dhanurasana, right, or even when you're doing your Shalabhasana, right, you are going to apply the same principles where you're going to keep your feet not wider than your hips, and you're going to actively use your leg muscles and also your glute muscles to get into an effective back bend. Try this out and feel the strength of your back muscles, strength of the posterior chain of muscles in your body when you're doing a back bend. And if this video was useful to you, please do share and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.